What is the purpose of the dunder init method?
In Python, the dunder init method is a special instance method that serves as the constructor for a class. It is automatically invoked when a new object of the class is created and is used to initialize the newly created object with specific attributes or state. Although it is often described as the constructor, it is technically an initializer, since the actual object creation is handled by the dunder new method. Nonetheless, dunder init plays the central role in preparing a fresh object to be used meaningfully right after instantiation. The primary purpose of the dunder init method is to set up the internal state of an object by assigning values to its attributes. It takes at least one argument, self, which refers to the instance being initialized. Additional parameters can be passed to the dunder init method at the time of object creation, allowing the developer to provide specific values that tailor the behavior or characteristics of the object. For instance, in a class person, the dunder init method might accept name and age parameters and assign them to self.name and self.age, thereby encapsulating the identity and properties of each individual instance. The use of dunder init promotes encapsulation and makes code more modular and reusable. Instead of relying on a separate method to configure an object after its creation, dunder init ensures that every instance is immediately ready for use, reducing the risk of inconsistent or partially initialized objects. It also enhances readability and maintainability, since the object's expected parameters and attributes are clearly defined at the point of instantiation. An important feature of dunder init is that it can include default arguments, allowing for flexible object creation. For example, a class rectangle might allow a default width and height if none are provided. This flexibility makes classes more adaptable to varying use cases and simplifies the creation of instances without requiring verbose or repetitive code. Another valuable aspect of dunder init is its ability to enforce constraints or logic during object creation. Validation checks can be implemented inside the method to ensure that the values passed to the constructor meet specific criteria. For example, a bank account class might verify that the initial balance is non-negative or that the account type is valid. By centralizing this logic within dunder init, developers maintain consistency and reduce the likelihood of invalid object states. While dunder init is often sufficient for most class initializations, it is distinct from dunder new, which is used in advanced scenarios such as creating immutable objects or customizing the class instantiation process. For the vast majority of use cases, however, dunder init is the go-to method for defining how an object should be initialized. In summary, the dunder init method is a foundational feature in Python's object-oriented programming model. It ensures that objects are initialized with meaningful state and behavior immediately upon creation, supports encapsulation, enhances code clarity, and allows for robust and flexible class design. Understanding and using dunder init effectively is essential for any Python developer working with custom classes and object-oriented principles.